Okay, this is the buyer under contract board, and this is our most complex board because, as you know, as a buyer's agent, you are responsible for most of the paperwork and admin side of this transaction. So, of course, this one's going to be the biggest one to deal with. But this process has made it super easy to figure out and to make this whole thing work without very much effort on your part. So the first thing you're going to do is go into the integrations, and you are going to make sure that you change any of these with stars next to them. Okay, so this is our walkthrough email. When we schedule a walkthrough, I put the walkthrough date and time in a column, and then I click walkthrough email, and it automatically sends an email to the combined co-agent emails if there's two agents on the other side. And that's all I have to do to schedule the walkthrough. But you might not like this email. You might want to change it. So if you do, you're welcome to. You can see that we pull in certain fields from the board, and these don't necessarily line up. So don't get confused. So what happens here is we duplicated the brokerage column, and so they don't necessarily line up exactly, but you can kind of figure out the gist. This is the buyer, this is the time and date, and it's we always do it 1 hour before the buyer's close time, and so then this is going to pull in the agent name there. So you can change those as much as you want. Super easy to do. Just make sure that you've checked over everything with the star to make sure that you like the body of the email. And then the next one is going to be the automations. Again, these are your sub items. This is your process. So when in the very beginning, when the file status is changed to working on it, you are going to have all these sub items populate onto the board. If you don't like those sub items, remember, we're going to turn it off. We're going to duplicate it. Then we're going to make the changes in the duplicated version. So we always leave the original there just in case we want to go back to it for some reason. Don't delete it, just turn it off. Okay, so on this board, what we're going to do is when we have that buyer on the summary board, we're going to mark them under contract. We're going to change the file status to under contract. So right here, we're going to click under contract. When we do that, when they get an under contract, they're going to move here on the board so we can keep a summary of them. But they're also going to move onto our buyer under contract board. So you're going to see that they're going to all be up here. When they do that, we want to fill in this entire, all of these columns, all the information on the columns. It takes about 5 minutes, maybe 10 the very first time you do it. But it's super simple. Now, this contract link, this links to a folder that houses any information that you want the parties to have access to. So your lender, your attorney, your co-agent, your buyers. This would house the purchase and sale. It would house the amendments. Or you can have another folder link here, like if you don't want the amendment to address concerns to go to all parties, you could put it in this one, and that would be different. But most of the emails are linked to this link. So when I send out, hey, Mr. Attorney, I've got a new contract for you to start processing, it's going to send the contract in the form of a link right here. So make sure that that is correct. And then you're just going to fill in all of this information: purchase price, binding date, walkthrough date, possession date, all of those things. You're going to put in client emails, the client addresses. We have a place for a pre-closer. You have an email 1 and an email 2. So if you have maybe a pre-closer and then the attorney, you can do those. And this is for combined email. So let's say that you have 2 people you want to send it to. You want to make sure that your emails are going to go to this email combined column. So make sure that you put all the emails in this one. It won't necessarily pull just from this one. So you want to check those integrations and just make sure. But for the most part, we pull the integrations for emails from the combined column. So as long as you have the information in the combined column, you're fine. Because we have these on a lot of them, you know, lender combined if they have an assistant, co-agent combined if they have an assistant. So it's just easier to focus on the combined columns. All right, so if you fill all of that out, that's literally almost all you have to do. It's going to populate some sub items in here, and you're going to see here that these are some of our sub items. Remember, you can always change these, but these are going to be things that we do to process an under contract buyer. And so let's see. Let's see if I just add a test. Okay, and then I'm going to change the file status. Go over here to working on it. When I do working on it, you're going to see this conversation. This is going to let me know that things have happened. And so you're going to see that these are some, this is just a summary board here. And then it doesn't look like those have populated on there. Let's see. It might not populate because I don't have all the fields put in there. But anyways, you can see that there's, when we click on new, it's giving us some instructions. So anytime we click on this conversation button right here, that's going to tell us everything that has been sent out or done automatically through this system. So make sure that you check those. And then let's see. Oh, here we go. This is a better one. Okay, so these are all of our sub items, and you can see that it's telling me to send an introduction email to buyers with important dates. So this is my, hey buyers, here's all our important dates, end of due diligence, when the earnest money's due, all of that. All I have to do is change the file status to trigger. So in your version, it's going to tell you which file status to choose. But if I click on intro to clients, it's going to automatically send that email to them, and it's going to have all of their information, all the dates in there. So let's see, if I click here, you can see. So this is the body of the email. This is essentially what gets sent out. And so you can see it doesn't look like this when it's sent out. This kind of converts things a little bit, but you can see it pulls in the assistant's name. It pulls in her name here at the bottom. It pulls in all of the dates that the buyer would be concerned about. It pulls in that contract link so they can click here and see their contracts. So these are some of the automations. Remember that this board, because this is our most complex, if you go here to instructions and you find the buyer under contract board, so I'm going to find it for you so you see it. Right here, if you open this, go to files, you're going to see a cheat sheet for what all the file status changes do. So that's really important to print that out. And hopefully you're starting each board with this instruction board first. All right, I think the biggest thing I can tell you to do on this buyer under contract board is start out with a test. Put in the fields, put in your email address for the lender, put in your email address for the attorney. Just do a test run, put in fake dates, all of that, and then watch how the board functions to get a feel for it before you use it on clients. All right, I hope that helps.